Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy DC coming back with another bullseye video here today on the channel. I want to do a full mix breakdown or just a lead vocal and a master breakdown for this really dope song that I have here, Why You Save Me by a really dope artist, Blue. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys were in professional mixing mastering services, we're going to show you here how we do it step by step and how you could get your tracks sounding great. All right, so let's get started.
I'ma lie to you more than my friends know. Even if I already know, you know, let the water flow. I'm all I never was now. Be a lie if I wasn't keeping count. Every time the world should have spit me out. I got used to being let down. Every moment I tried to wear the crown. So why'd you save me? 'Cause you could've ended the more I think. I try to forget the moment I dreamed. And I woke up, 'cause the moment you saw me give up, that's when I let you down. So long,
all right, you guys got to understand we're working here right now. First of all, let's look at the entire vocal chain that we got right here. And the most important thing about it, realistically, is trying to already have an image in our head, like Picasso. As an engineer, you're Picasso on the mix, okay? You got to already have an image in your head of what you want. So I wanted something very warm, very smooth, with a dollop of presence on it, okay? So let's look at a lot of we're going to be zooming through this, honestly. I'm not going to take too much time. Let's go.
more than my friends know. Even if I already know, you know, let the water flow. I'm all I never was now. Be a lie if I wasn't keeping count. Every time the world should have spit me out. I got used to being let down. Every moment I tried to wear the crown. So why'd you save me? 'Cause you could've ended the more I think.
So it's super muffly. All right, first thing that we have right here is a vocal rider. We're going for a level of control with the vocal rider, nothing crazy, but we just want the vocal to be even going into the side of the chain. Next thing that we have right here is the spiff, okay? And I use the spiff to help vocals blend back in the mix by taking off a little bit of transient energy.
I try to forget the moment I dreamed. And I woke up, 'cause the moment you saw me give up, that's when I let.
So by taking off those transients, it's a great way of pushing back a vocal into the mix. And this is the type of vocal that really got to blend in there like a smoothie. You feel me? All right. So next thing, we have a Faraday limiter, just using that to get a little bit of the warmth saturation. So early on, we're just using the saturator. We're getting things to be really smooth, and pay attention to my release time. My release time is on medium.
So why'd you save me? Know what I wanted, less than they needed it more. Learning every day to show grace. I've been thinking how in the wrong way. So why'd you hit the brakes for me? Wait up for me. So why'd you save me? 'Cause you could've ended the more I think. I try to forget the moment.
This is a different style of mix from what I usually do. You already know that. So yeah, also pay attention to the waveform. You know, the waveform tells me how I got to approach the mix. You see like a lot of jagged energy. We see a lot of boom, boom, boom. So we got to shoot those things down. All right, guys. And the next thing I use, because I want smooth vocals, the LA2A.
I dreamed and I woke up, 'cause the moment you saw me give up, that's when I let you down.
This is why it's important to know what salt, seasoning, and pepper that you're about to put on the barbecue. Because, for example, with the LA2A, in this situation, we already know that it has a certain optical clarity to it because of the components as well as the tubes. So we want to keep that consistent sugar and spice, everything nice that we got going on in the vocal. And because of this, what we did is we actually use this for dirty gain. Pay attention to how it's way louder than what it was, because this getting volume for this will give saturation, it will give tone. It's pushing a little bit of that tube amplification circuit rather than just using a regular fader and getting regular volume that adds nothing, okay? There's a time to use both, but this was a time to get some dirty volume, get some sauce on the vocal, put some ketchup on that bun. All right, now let's move to the EQ. See, the EQ is very broad. It's not like a typical rap EQ. It's just something like we want extended low end. You know, we want it to poke out. You know, we want the pimple to poke out on the face, the zit to be apparent. So yeah, you see how in this situation it's very broad and smooth.
Why'd you save me? 'Cause you could've ended the more I think. I try to forget the moment I dreamed. And I woke up, 'cause the moment you saw me give up, that's when I let you down. So long, guess away. All my guilt in my shame. The day I changed, to wake up not the same.
All right. right, what we're gonna do after that is we use a little bit of this Mac DSP MC404 just because of the way it helps the mix vocals sit. So a lot of times I will divide the BPM of the song and get a musical release timing or whatever.
Run from those chains. Everything in my flesh helps me run from nothing. It's all the contact, you never make an impact. Everything was all bad. I woke up today, even though I know I don't deserve no matter anything. And every time I fight my flesh, every time I walk away from my skin.
So you see how it's just controlling the mid-range because it's getting in my bones. There's certain parts of the performance that jump out a little bit more than others. And just to get that presence back, because we're compressing the high mid, we use a little bit of that Spectre.
God, you saved me, 'cause it could've ended the more I think. I try to forget the moment I dreamed, and I woke up, 'cause the moment you saw me
So
give.
it's all about getting that low mid to sit in the track correctly. So that's why we boosted with the Spectre, and then we controlled it with the MC404. Sometimes I might take them and rotate them back and forth, but you guys understand what I'm doing. I'm getting some control on the teeth, and then I'm shining those things bright like Colgate. Now we have the RVOCs mostly just for a little bit of squeeze. We're trying to build back up that low mid that we just took out with compression, but we're gonna build it back up. We took it out with compression, but we're gonna build it back with compression. This is just to ensure we're doing it in a dynamic way versus where EQ is static, like it's cutting the low mid and the body all the time. For when you do a multi-band compressor, it's dynamic. It has a release time. It has a release time to the way it does the cutting. Okay. Now we use the TubeTech CO1B as well because it's got a little bit more of that same attitude we were talking about. We're using this compressor more like a saturator.
That's when I lay you down. Oh Lord, kiss away all my guilt and my shame. The day I changed to wake up not the same and run from those chains. Felt like a high-speed chase, the way I switched plates, showing hate to things. I can't wait for you to blow my mind the minute I dive deep, 'cause I knew what I wanted. Life said they needed it more. Running every day to show grace. I've been thinking how in the wrong way. So why'd you hit the brakes for me and wait up for me? So why'd you save me? 'Cause it could've ended the more I think. I try to forget the moment I dreamed, and I woke up, 'cause the moment you saw me give up, that's when I let you down. So Lord, guess away all my guilt and my shame. The day I changed.
All right, that's the most important thing right there that we have. Next thing you know, we're going to be using the Abbey Road J37 just because we like how this adds brightness without you genuinely using EQ, you know?
It's all the contact, you never make an impact. Everything was all bad. I woke up today, even though I know I don't deserve no matter anything. And every time I fight my flesh, every time I walk away from my skin and my bone, I think you know.
At that point, we're just trying to get the vocal to be smooth, so we use a de-esser, we use a little bit of notching stuff on the vocal, and then we use the C6. So at that point, we're just trying to get rid of that extra harshness, you know?
I woke up, 'cause the moment you saw me give up, that's when I let you down. So Lord, guess away all my guilt and my shame. The day I changed to wake up not the same and run from those chains. Everything in my flesh helps me run from nothing. It's all the contact, you never make an impact. Everything was all bad. I woke up today, even though I know I don't deserve no matter anything. And every time I fight my flesh, every time I walk away from my skin and my bone, I think you know, I don't.
All right, well, that's the most important thing right there, okay, is getting it to be smooth, and we use compression. We use a bunch of different things to smooth it out. Then we use the fresh air for a little bit of brightness. At this point, this is the sweetening side. You see how I'm just bypassing it in and out in chunks? That's kind of how I mix. I mix in chunks. I don't really mix by plugin by plugin. You know, focus on the broader details and then slowly dial in the sound.
So why'd you save me? 'Cause it could've ended the more. Why'd you save me? I was going crazy on my own. You know, you said a nice challenge in your throne. I said I'm on the way, nowhere near your home. Come out loud to you more than my friends know. Even if I already know, you know. Let the water flow, I'm all I never was now. Be a lie if I wasn't keeping count. Every time the world should have spit me out. I got you.
So yeah, we're just making the vocal brighter, and a byproduct of you making things brighter with shelves and like lifting up high-end frequencies, there might be some noise. So that's why I love leaving the C-Suite Vox at the back end, you know? Before it even started hitting all these high-end plugins, try to get that noise under control though, you know, like with gates and stuff like that, you know? So that's the most very important thing too. And you can use a limiter to squeeze out that noise so that when it does touch the gate, it touches it a lot easier, you know? You're bringing up the noise floor on purpose. That's just the way I approach it. Yeah, so the C-Suite Vox is usually at the end because it has a great way of cleaning things up. The mastering bus was something like a SSLG, just to give some body. You know, you see how like a lot of times when I use a compressor, there is no volume because I don't really care about the volume. I really care about, is it bringing dirty gain? Like I'm always thinking about the salt, seasoning, and pepper. Always thinking about that. Salt, seasoning, and pepper. Really, when you use a compressor, it should sound better without the makeup gain. It should sound better without the makeup gain. And then if you want to add, you're just thinking about your salt, seasoning, and pepper. You feel me? You're not thinking about level matching.
To being let down. Every moment I try to wear the crown. So why'd you save me? 'Cause it could've ended the more I think. I try to forget the moment I dreamed. And I woke up 'cause the moment you saw me give up, that's when I let you down. So long, 'cause away.
What I want the vocal to be a little bit closer to the beat, you know, because it's a 2-track beat. So that's a great way of using compression to get the vocal to be closer to the beat rather than why it sounds like so far apart. Then we have two tube plugins. We're only just using them just to get the sound of some good tube saturation. And we after that byproduct is we need to cut out a little bit of the low mid. Let's look at this chunk of plugins. Try to mix more in chunks, you know.
Less if they needed it more. Running every day, show grace. I've been thinking how in the wrong ways. So why'd you hit the brakes for me and wait up for me? So why'd you save me? 'Cause it could've ended the more I think. I try to forget the moment I dreamed. And I woke up 'cause the moment you saw me give up, that's when I let you down. So long, guess away. I'm my guilt in my shame. The day I change, I wake up not the same. I run from those chains. Everything in my flesh helps me run from nothing. It's all the contact, you never make an impact. Everything was all bad. I woke up today, even though I know I don't deserve no matter anything. And every time I fight my flesh, every time I walk away from my skin and my bone, I think you know.
And it's just add a little bit more body. The vocal, the God particle adds more low mid body. The fresh air adds more high mid body. You know, type of situation like that. And then you have the OZONE 11. I'm just using it for stereo widening, a little bit of like perfection and stuff like that. But the most important thing too is the fact that we use a little bit of silk, a little bit of thick knob that helps everything just feel more rounder.
Be alive, I wasn't keeping count. Every time the world should have spit me out. I got used to being let down. Every moment I tried to wear the crown. So why'd you save me? 'Cause it could've ended the more I think. I tried to fix.
This is not the typical rap song that needs like super hyped up. It just needs to be warm. So this is pretty much the end of the video here today, guys. I tried to do a quick breakdown. Just try to make sure I do this for you guys today. Hey, if you want a pro sound, you see what I did to this track, don't forget to check me out and reach out to MixLikeNix.com. Book a mix, guys. I can get you guys sauced up and you see the results. You heard the before and after. You see everything. Imagine if that was you. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the website to buy some dope vocal presets, plugin presets, mastering presets, and courses. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate you now. Peace.